At a luxury house, Lucy is lying naked on a large bed, and lying next to her is an over 60 years old man. Why does a beautiful girl like Lucy get into this situation? Actually, Lucy is a university student. She not only has a perfect body, a bright smile, but also a hair that makes others jealous. In addition, she also owns a smooth and white skin. All have turned Lucy into a goddess in everyone's eyes. However, her background is not so good. Born in a poor family, since childhood Lucy has no one to take care of her, what formed her independent character. In order to have money to go to school, Lucy has to work 3 jobs. In the daylight, she goes to the hospital to be a lab rat. The doctor will use a long tube to stab it straight from Lucy's mouth into her throat, something that seems extremely terrible to everyone, but Lucy easily accepts. After finishing work, she rushes to school to be on time for class. After school, Lucy continues to run to the restaurant to work as a waitress. Even when the night falls, Lucy does not allow herself to rest. She puts on a sexy dress, then sits among a group of men to discuss with them how much it would cost to spend the night with her. Early the next morning, after last night lucky man brings Lucy home, she continues with her work loop. Day after day, Lucy does not have time to rest. Even having to sell her body, she accepts. Because more than anyone else, Lucy knows well that the consequences of not having money would be terrible. Every day, Lucy is busy with work, but facing rent, sick boyfriend and old alcoholic mother, she never dares allow herself to give up. Lucy's boyfriend was addicted to drugs a few years ago, and his health has deteriorated markedly. So he can only sit still at home and rely on the money Lucy earns to live through the day. Not only taking care of her boyfriend, but Lucy also has to provide money for her playful mother. She quickly gets caught up in the vortex of money. Lucy realizes she couldn't go on like this forever. It's time for her to find something with higher income. Accidentally, Lucy discovers a job that pays her well. It immediately attracts her full attention, because the salary she receives is higher than the other 3 jobs combined. The next day, Lucy is arranged to a luxurious room for an interview. She is welcomed by Clara, a very politely dressed middle-aged woman. As soon as Clara meets Lucy, she has to cry out that she has never met a beautiful girl like her. After a few acquaintances, Clara asks Lucy to take off her clothes to check. Though Lucy does not understand the reason, she freely agrees, because for so many years, Lucy has done every job. Through a test, Lucy successfully becomes a lingerie model. To make Lucy even more attractive, Clara arranges for her to have a beauty treatment, a beautiful care package from A to Z right after the first day of work. Lucy receives a salary of up to $5,000. Great income makes she love this job more, and strengthen her determination to get rich. After working for a short time, Lucy quickly becomes a rich lady. It also completely changes her life. Not only does Lucy get a new house, but money becomes too easy for her to earn. However, at this time, her boyfriend falls ill again. This time, it seems to be quite serious. Lucy is heartbroken and says, "I have money now, I can take you to rehab." But Lucy's boyfriend says, "Maybe I am not okay this time." Hearing these words, Lucy is heartbroken. She is determined to earn more money to help her boyfriend. So she agrees to the new job that Clara introduced to her. Clara says, "You just need to take this pill and go to bed and sleep. Money will immediately fly to you while you sleep." Clara also promises that except for feeling a little tired when she wakes up, Lucy won't suffer any harm. As well as having absolutely no memory of what happened. Lucy thinks for a moment, then agrees. The next day, she begins to participate in this special work, without knowing that the ones who is sleeping with her are men with the same age as her grandfather. Just like that, Lucy and her clients sleep together night after night. And as Clara said, after waking up, Lucy always feels uncomfortable. Despite her suspicions, Lucy does not investigate further. She just knows that she really needs this job. It has greatly improved Lucy's life. But whatever comes will come. Lucy's boyfriend passes away. He has absolutely no chance to enjoy the things that his girlfriend uses her body for. The death of her boyfriend is a huge shock to Lucy. She begins to show signs of self-indulgence. At her boyfriend's funeral, Lucy suddenly asks her boyfriend's longtime best friend, "Can you marry me?" The friend looks at Lucy with surprised eyes, directly scolds her a few sentences then leaves. Not only that, during her leisure time, Lucy loses a part-time job. However, with a huge and stable income, Lucy does not mind too much. Just like that, she is attached to that mystical work for quite a long time. Not long after, Lucy's curiosity begins to rise. She wants to know what happened when she is sleeping. So Lucy reaches out to Clara in the hope that she would tell her the truth. However, Clara immediately refuses, saying that she has to keep her client's privacy secure, and absolutely not revealed. Despite Clara's explanation, Lucy still does not give up. She immediately goes to supermarket to buy a hidden camera. Lucy plans to use it to record everything that happens while she sleeps. But on that night when the camera is ready, Lucy does almost not get a chance to watch it. It turns out that Lucy's client wants to end his life by her side. But unexpectedly, he accidentally gives her too many sleeping pills. So Lucy almost dies with him. Clara finds out and tries to save Lucy. Fortunately, through many efforts, Lucy's life is saved. After regaining consciousness, seeing the cold body of the man lying next to her, Lucy sits on the bed and cries. She never thinks that her job would be so scary.
This is also the final stop of the movie. Indeed, Lucy's family background and her misfortune make people sympathize. But no matter how difficult life is, try not to lose yourself.